All right, chapter 1, test review, talking about number 1, domain, range, x-intercepts, y-intercepts, increasing and decreasing. Okay, so talking about domain, what's domain deal with? What values? X values. What's my least x value? 0. What's my highest x value?
0. Oh wait, no.
8. Yep, highest x value, so it goes least x value to highest x value, so 0 and 8. Range deals with y values. What's my lowest y value? 0. What's my highest?
13.
Yep, 13 right here. Yep. Good. X-intercepts. What does it mean to be an x-intercept? Where it crosses the x-axis, right? Okay. Where does it cross the x-axis here? Yep, 0, 0. What about the y-axis? Same thing, right? 0, 0 is both an x and a y-intercept, so you need it on both of those. Okay? And then increasing and decreasing, we look at those together. Okay, how do I read these?
It's only a part of the graph and it's left to right.
Yep, left to right, I'm looking at the x values. So starting all the way to the left, what am I doing first? I'm increasing. Where do I start increasing at? 0. Now, when I hit this point here, do I stop increasing? No, I'm still increasing. So where do I increase all the way to? 5. So 0, 5. Normally, when we stop increasing, we start decreasing. But this one's a little weird because are we doing either right here? No, it's just going straight. Okay, it won't be like that on test. It'll be like normal. Okay, so we're just going to skip that part. Where do we start increasing again? 6 all the way to 8. Yep. So was there any decreasing for this one? No. Tomorrow will be like normal. There will be increasing and decreasing. You can write none. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Questions on number 1. Okay. All right. Number 2, finding x and y intercepts. What do I want you to do first? Yep, change the f of x to a y. So I have y equals x squared minus 25. So remember, we're finding x and y intercepts. So I'm going to find x-intercept first. What do I know about x-intercepts? Y equals 0. Yep. Are we going to ever plug in any other value? No, it's always going to be 0. So listen to what you wrote down. Y equals 0. I'm plugging that in for y. So we have 0 equals x squared minus 25. Now we want to solve for x. What do I do first? Add 25. So I have 25 equals just x squared, right? And then how do I get x by itself? Square root. So I have x equals?
Negative, positive.
Yep. Why do I need both? Yep, because I took the square root. I need 2 answers. How do I write my answers? Coordinates, negative 5, 0 and 5, 0. So we're going to have 2 coordinates for our x's. Am I done with the problem? No. What else do I need to find? Y-intercept. What do I know about a y-intercept? Yep, x is 0. So I'm plugging in 0 there this time. So I have y equals 0 squared minus 25. What is 0 squared? 0 minus 25, negative 25. And then how do I write my answer? 0, negative 25. Good. Moving on to number 3. Now I know it gives you multiple choice. Okay. Write it down first and then make the connection to the multiple choice. Okay. So, talking about transformations here, what does this plus 3 tell me? Yep, we're going to, since it's with the x, we're thinking opposite. So, we got to go left 3. What is this plus 2 telling me? Yep, it's with the y's. We think normal. We go up 2. Which one does that match? It is A. Yep. So, I highly recommend you write it first and then make the connection there. So then you're not looking at a bunch of different options at once. Okay? Number 4. Number 4 here, talking about piecewise functions. So there's 3 questions that deal with this. The first one, how many functions are there in the piecewise? There are 3. Remember, you just get it by however many intervals and functions there are. Okay, so we have 3. What can you tell me about x equals 2? Well, first we have to figure out what
it's equal to.
what interval it's in, right? Let's figure out what intervals it's considered in. Is it in the first one? No. Second one? Yep, so I'm going to write second function. Is it in the third?
Yes.
Yes, it's considered in the third. So I'm talking about the second and third function. Going back to the second function, now we're deciding if it's equal to or not. In this second function, what is it telling me? Equal to, because where'd you get that from? Because the equal to symbol here. Okay, what about this second function?
It's not equal.
Not equal to, yep. Can both of them be equal to? No, okay. One of them is equal to, one of them is not, and you get that from the inequalities in the function. Okay. And then number 6, it gives you different values it wants you to find in the intervals. So x equals 1. First, you have to decide what interval it goes in. So x equals 1. Is it in the first one? Is x equals 1 in the first one? Is 1 in this interval? Yes, but is it equal to? No, so it's not the first one. What about the second one? Yes, so I picked this interval, which activated this function. So how do I solve? Yep, I'm plugging 1 into that function. So I have 3 minus 1 is 2. So 2 is my answer for that one. X equals 3. I need to figure out what function it lies. Which one is it in? What did you say? It is in the third. But, so I picked this interval. I'm activating this function. But there's no x there. What do I do? It's just whatever number is here. So x equals 3. The value is 1. Okay, if there's no x to plug into, then your answer is just whatever number is there. Okay. X equals 8. What interval does it lie in? None. Why do you say none? Right, there's no 8 out here, and 8 is not in between 2 and 4, so there is no value for 8. Okay, you put none or put a x through there. Questions on the piecewise functions. On to sequences. So I give you this sequence here. Okay, so we're using that sequence for 7 through 9. Explicit definition. I had you write that down. What is the explicit definition?
Equals A1 plus B parentheses minus 1.
Yep. So on number 7, all it wants us to do is write the equation. Okay, what are the 2 things I need to write an equation? I need A1 and D. Yep, so A1 stands for what? First term. What's the first term? 9. And then D stands for distance or difference. How do I find that? Right, I'm trying to find the distance or the difference between these two. How do I get from 9 to 12? 3. You want to double check 12 to 15? 3, 15 to 18? 3, 18 to 21. 3. So my difference is 3. One thing I want to say, why do I have to check all of those? Just in case. If one of them wasn't the same, could this be a sequence? No. Okay? You don't have to worry about that. It will be the same on the test. Okay? But if that did happen and you didn't have the same pattern going on, it just wouldn't be a sequence. Okay? So we have the 2 things that we need. So all we have to do is just plug them into our equation here. So I have AN equals, A1 is 9 plus D is 3 times N minus 1. That's all it wanted to do on that one. Okay. On number 8, it wants the 50th term of the sequence. What is it looking for if it's the 50th term? A50. Yep. So why do you think I had you write this down?
To use it to find 50th.
We're going to use it on number 8 to find the 50th term. How do I use it?
Plug 50 into n.
Yep, we're going to plug 50 into n. So I have 9 plus 3 times 50 minus 1. What do I do first? Yep. So I have 9 plus 3 times 49. What's next?
10 plus 3.
Careful.
3 times.
Yep. Multiply first, so I have 147, and then add to get 156. So that is my answer for the 50th term of the sequence. Okay. On number 9, number of terms. What's the number of terms? 5. I know it's on the back page, okay, but we are using the sequence from the 7 and 8. We're using that same sequence. This time it wants the sum. So what equation, or how are we going to solve this?
S equals n. A1 plus an divided by 2.
Yep. Sum equals a1 plus an divided by 2. So what do we need in order to use this equation? We need n, we need a1, and we need an. Yep. So let's find those values. N stands for, what was my a1? 9, first term. An, what does that stand for? The last term. What was the last term? 21. Yep. The sequence does continue to go on, just like we found the 50th term. I want you to just use the numbers that I gave you for this question. Okay. So our last term in that case was 21. Now do we have everything? Yes. So plugging that in, we have 5 times 9 plus 21 divided by 2. What needs to happen first? 9 plus 21 is 30, and then, yep, which is 150 divided by 2, 75. So our sum of that sequence is 75. Okay. Number 10, I want you to compare 9 and 10. Are the directions asking you for different things? No, they're asking for the same thing. What's the one difference? What'd you say? Right, the starting point's different, right? It doesn't give us the specific sequence this time. It gives us that sigma notation. But we are still going to use the sum equation. Okay? So we need to find n, a1, and an. N stands for number of terms. How many terms are there? 7. Where'd you get that from? Yep, number of terms comes from that top number. Okay. A1, what does that stand for? First term. How do I find the first term? I have to put it into the equation. Why can I not say the first term is 1?
Because that's the x.
Right, that's just where it starts, right? That's just telling you I have 1 to 7. That's how many terms I have. Okay, but we have to specifically find that value. So we need to plug 1 into the equation. So I have 3 times 1 minus 2. What's 3 times 1? 3 minus 2? 1. It is a coincidence that these two numbers are the same. Okay, that is a coincidence. So I found A1. Now we need to find AN. What does AN stand for? Last term. Well, how many terms do we have? 7. So how do I find the last term? Yep. We're going to plug 7 in for n. So we have 3 times 7 minus 2. What's 3 times 7?
21.
21 minus 2?
19.
19. Do I have everything in order to use this formula? Yes. So we just plug it in. S equals 7 times 1 plus 19 divided by 2. What's 1 plus 19? 20. 7 times 20? 140 divided by 2 is 70. Any questions on sequences? Moving on to number 11. Now we're getting into the graphs, okay? How do I know what a solution is on a graph? What am I looking for? Where they cross, right? How many solutions does this one have? 2. Has one here, and has one here. What do you notice about how they want you to answer this? It only wants the x values. So what's the x value to this point right here? negative 1. What's the x value to this point right here? 3. That's all it wants you to do on that one. Okay? Questions on 11? All right, now number 12, we're getting into graphing them on our own. Okay? What is the first thing I want you to do on 12? What should we do? What?
Write them their own.
Write them as two separate equations. What would the first one be?
Y equals 3 plus x plus 1.
Yep. And then my second one would be?
Y equals x plus 2 absolute value minus.
Yep. So we're going to graph both of these separately. How would I graph this first one? Actually, I'm going to back up. What does this graph going to look like, the first one? It's going to look like a line. Yep. So where do I start that one?
Positive 1.
On what axis?
Y.
Y-axis. So we're going to start here. How do I get all of my other points?
Up 1 over 4.
Yep, use the slope. I go up 3 over
Up 3 over 4.
4. How many do I need to do?
Twice. So you have to go.
Until it goes off the graph, do I need to go the other direction?
Yeah.
Yes. Remember, do I want to be precise with these values? Why? You have to see exactly where it hits, right? So you want to make sure that you are being precise when you're graphing these. Okay. First one we're done with. What's my second graph going to look like?
A V.
A V. Why a V?
Because absolute value.
Absolute value is a V. Where do I get my starting point from?
And then the equation
A lot of us always say the last number. What about this number in here?
plus the x value.
Both of them tell me, right? So that plus 2 tells me
Left 2.
left 2. That minus 3 tells me
Down 3.
down 3. So our starting point, we're going to get exactly from that. So we're going to get negative 2, negative 3. So I'm going to listen to that. I'm going to go left 2, down 3. That's where we get our starting point from. How do I get all of the other points?
Up 1 over 1.
Right, we want it to look like a V. So we're going to go up 1 over 1 in both directions. How many solutions do I have on the graph? 1 right here. Is it nice? No. If it's not nice, all I want you to do is circle it. Okay, on the test tomorrow, they are both nice. Okay, so you don't have to worry about, so you can use that to check yourself. You know they're supposed to be nice, so double check. Okay? On number 12B, same idea. What do I do first?
With the narrow equations.
Make them their own. What's my first one?
Y equals 1 half x minus 4.
Yep, and then what's my second one?
Y equals x squared plus 4x plus 1.
Good. Let's grab that first one first. What's that first one going to look like?
A line.
A line. Where do I start?
Negative 2 over y.
Yep, so I start down 2. How do I get all my other points?
Up 1 over 2.
Up 1 over 2 in all directions. Good. What's this second graph going to look like? A U. Yep. How do I get my starting point?
You have to do the ABC.
Yep, I got to use our ABC method. So I need my x equals, what's that equation?
Negative b.
Negative b over 2a. Yep, so what's my negative b?
1.
Remember, I just want the coefficients. I just want the number. And then divided by 2, what's a? 1. Yep. 2 times 1? 2. Negative 4 divided by 2? Negative 2. Now, is that my starting point here? No, what am I missing?
The y.
I need to find the y value. How do I find the y value?
Plug negative 2 into the x's of the equation.
Yep, plugging in negative 2 for these x's. So I have negative 2 squared plus 4 times negative 2 plus 1. What's negative 2 squared?
4.
4 times negative 2?
Negative 8.
Negative 8 plus 1. 4 minus 8?
Negative 4.
Negative 4 plus 1?
Negative 3.
Negative 3. So my starting point is negative 2, negative 3. So we're going to go plot that right away. Just because it crosses there right away, does that mean we don't have to graph it? No, we have to finish graphing it because there could be more than one solution. How do I get all of my other points if it's going to look like a U?
Up the step pattern.
Step pattern. What's the step pattern?
Up 1 over 1, up 1 over 3.
Yep. 1, 3, 5, 7. So over 1 up,
1,
1 over 1 up, 3 over 1 up.
5.
Yep. How do I get the other side?
Same thing.
Same thing. Over 1 up, 1 over 1 up, 3. And then go ahead and draw your picture. How many solutions do I have?
1.
1. Since it's nice, can I just circle it or do I have to do something else?
You could
That's
just
good, coordinates.
You could circle what you have down. What is my crossing? Where do they cross? -2, -3. So when you have nice coordinates, you need to write them as your answer. Okay? If you notice that this is the same thing, you can circle that too. Okay? Questions on graphing those? Last one we need to talk about, and that's number 13, solving systems of equations. And remember, we're using the elimination method. What do I do first? What do I look for?
Opposites.
Look for opposites and the same number. 2x and x, yes or no?
No.
Nope. Y, negative y, negative y? No.
But they're the same numbers.
They're the same number, so let's pick that one to change. How do I make them the same?
Multiply by -1.
Multiply by -1. Doesn't matter which one.
No.
No, which one do we want to do?
Bottom.
The bottom one? Multiply by a -1. If you pick the top one, you should still get the same answer in the end. Okay? So here I have, make sure when you do this, you're multiplying it to every number, not just the 2. So I have -x
Plus y equals -10.
plus y equals -10. Good. What do I do with that other equation?
Rewrite it.
Yep, break it down. So I have 2x minus y equals 7. What's next?
Big addition.
Big addition problem. -x plus 2x.
X.
1x. Yep. Be careful with those negatives here. What do I do with the y's?
Cancel.
Cancel. Is that what we wanted?
Yeah.
Yes. -10 plus 7.
3.
-3. Kind of nice on this one is x already by itself.
Yeah.
Yes, so underline so you don't forget about it. Okay? If we didn't get something to cancel out there, can we move on?
No.
No, you have to get something to cancel out before you can move on. Okay, how do I find y?
Plug
Plug
3
the
into
negative
that.
x into the one you didn't change.
Yep, plug 3 into the one we did not change. So I have 2, is this 2 minus 3?
No.
2 times -3 minus y equals 7. 2 times -3?
-6.
-6 minus y equals
7.
7. Next,
Add 6.
add 6. 7 plus 6,
13.
negative y equals 13. Am I done?
No.
What's wrong with that?
Divide by 1.
Right, I got to get rid of that negative. I'm going to divide by -1, so I have y equals -13. So in a nutshell, we're just switching signs on that one. Am I done?
No, you got to write it for
I got to write it as a coordinate. What's my coordinate?
-3, -13.
-3, -13. Any questions before I end the video? Okay.